What originally was a buy or sell question yesterday, we tabled. We said this is bigger than just a buy or sell question. We want to dive into this a little more. So the question I posed before the break, which Valley quarterback is under more pressure in 2025? Is it ASU's Sam Leavitt or is it the Arizona Cardinals' Kyler Murray? And I will tell you, spent a lot of time thinking about this. Thought about it after the show yesterday, thought about it a little bit on the drive home, thought about it again this morning when putting the show together. And I don't want to take the cheap way out here. I don't. But I think it's important for us to, before we answer this question, to define what we mean by under more pressure. Because there are different types of pressure. And I think depending on the type of pressure that we describe here, the answer changes. Because there's financial pressure. And if we're talking about who is at risk of losing more money, if they struggle, it's Sam Leavitt. Kyler's got the contract. Kyler's been paid the big bucks. Even if he was cut at the end of the year by the Cardinals, another team would pick him up and he would still be making a lot of money. Sam Leavitt, he has a bad year. It changes his draft stock. It changes whether or not he's a first-round pick, and that changes the financials. So that's one way to look at pressure of who has more to lose financially. Pressure in terms of expectations around their team is another way to put this pressure bucket. I think the answer there is also Sam Leavitt. Way more expectations on ASU this year than the Arizona Cardinals. I think the expectations around the Cardinals are, hey, should make the playoffs. But around ASU, it's go in the Big 12 again. It's go to the college football playoff again. It's be a national story this time all year long. That's different than making the playoffs in the NFL. That's different than the pressure that Kyler Murray faces. So how do we want to look at this?
Okay. I think when you look at it those two ways, the pressure becomes slightly different because you're right. Sam Leavitt has the most to lose financially. But let me ask you this question. Sam Leavitt might get a mulligan. If he has a bad year this year, he can come back and play another one.
Mm-hmm.
Come back and play another one.
Yep.
Kyler might not get that. If Kyler has a bad year this year, he's done as an Arizona Cardinal.
Oh, you don't have to use the word might. If Kyler has a bad year this year, he is gone. We are having an entire summer. You thought this summer was crazy, talking about Kevin Durant and talking about the future of the Phoenix Suns and talking about the draft for the Cardinals and overhauling their defense. Could you imagine a summer on this program each and every day, potentially when we're doing 3 hours of content every day? We're talking about the Cardinals searching for a new quarterback every single day for weeks and months on end. So yes, you are right. If Kyler has a bad year, he is gone. So who can survive a bad year more? Sam Leavitt. So if you wanted to use that as your pressure gauge, more pressure on Kyler Murray.
And then on the latter, which is who can survive one bad game, it's Kyler Murray.
In college, one bad game could sink your entire season in college football.
So it's very pick and choose your spots. Sam Leavitt probably the whole year could have a bad year and be more okay than Kyler Murray is. Sam Leavitt has one bad game. He's in probably a worse state than Kyler Murray would be on one bad game.
You also have the wolves at the gates for Kyler Murray as it is. Most people have already made up their mind about Kyler Murray, and most people want to see the Cardinals move on from Kyler Murray. That changes the pressure equation. Whereas with Sam Leavitt, there's more excitement about Sam Leavitt. Now, that sets up for more disappointment potential, whereas if Kyler struggles and the Cardinals struggle, there's going to be disappointment, but there's also going to be this air of, I told you so, that surrounds those conversations. So when I add all of these things up, and I try to look at it from every possible angle, when I think of where the Sun Devils are as a program, when I think of where the Cardinals are as a program, or I think of where both of these teams have been recently, I think there's more pressure on Sam Leavitt and Arizona State than there is Kyler Murray and the Arizona Cardinals.
I agree. I think that the momentum they've built given last year.
Yeah, have to win.
You have to win.
Have to win.
And you're no longer, let's get in. It's now we got to kick down the door. And so the pressure, the Cardinals, the Cardinals always have a salary cap. They're always going to have the money. The pressure for the school itself becomes way larger on the Arizona State Sun Devils and the momentum they can get for the program moving forward than it will ever be on a single NFL season.
I want to position it this way. Let me phrase it this way. Kyler Murray has a bad year. Do you trust the Arizona Cardinals to figure it out?
Yes.
Sam Leavitt has a bad year. Do you trust the Sun Devils to figure that out? You're a little more on the fence.
It's just harder.
It is harder to figure that out when you are already a team that had a miracle run last year, a miracle year ahead of schedule. People are waiting for you to trip up. And if you trip up at the quarterback position, it's going to set you back to the starting point. This is going to be like a game of chutes and ladders, and you went down the snake, you're back at the beginning. Whereas for the Cardinals, you would feel like, okay, now we can reset correctly. We trust Monty to get this right. We trust JG. It's going to be a fresh face under center. The team might be able to be better off. Whereas with Sam Leavitt, if he struggles, you're looking around the room like John Travolta in Pulp Fiction. You're like, what are we doing? You don't have an answer. Whereas for the Cardinals, I think there would be a welcoming feeling to that.
And
so more pressure, I think, on Sam Leavitt.
It's also interesting, too, is the quarterback position in college is so volatile right now. Like, players are moving so fast. Was there a small part of you that was shocked Sam Leavitt stayed? Not shocked, but slightly surprised he stayed?
Yes.
Because there is Alabama of the world. There is anybody in the SEC, Texas.
It's not even
all of those teams can offer him double probably what we could give him.
In college sports, there isn't a ton of loyalty. And I'm not saying that is a good or a bad thing. There just isn't a ton of loyalty. So after a great year, I think your default nature should be, I'm worried about anybody leaving. I'm worried about Jordan Tyson going somewhere. I'm worried about Sam Leavitt going somewhere. I'm worried about these guys getting poached by any team, any program, anywhere that's willing to throw money at them. That should always be a concern and fear in this era of college football. So he stayed. That applies some pressure as well. He showed that loyalty. Now the fans are maybe a little more trusting of Sam Leavitt. They're a little more trusting of buying into what this program has been selling them since Kenny has gotten here.
Built more excitement. And since Kenny has got here, you and I sat in that booth and talked about it as a 4-5 year rebuild, right? In college terms.
Yep.
Because you want Kenny to get his guys in, his recruiting class. You want them to age. All of those things become factors. You got put on what do they call those? The turbo trains?
You got put on a fast track.
A fast track through the rebuild.
Mm-hmm.
And in 2 years, you have put yourself in a position where people believe you are a college football playoff team. You have to go out there and
the financial issues, the financial things that could be lost for Sam Leavitt, the pressure of carrying an entire program and finally answering the call of being a sleeping giant. I think the pressure of one loss, one mistake in college, the pressure of you have more to lose than Kyler Murray, I think that makes the answer pretty simple for me. Sam Leavitt is under more pressure in 2025 than Kyler Murray. Because I have more faith in the Cardinals being able to figure it out if Kyler fails than I do the Sun Devils if Sam Leavitt fails.
And it's not a knock against the Sun Devils. It's just the reality of what college football is today.
And it's their history as well.